Suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace among those whom God favors." That, of course, is part of our fairly extensive reading tonight. Praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace among those whom God favors." Now, those of you who read my Facebook posts, and I know there are some of you out there, those of you who read my Facebook posts will know that some of the local clergy managed, in the midst of all the seasonal chaos and our just general flakiness, to get together for a couple of days ago for a couple of hours to have lunch. Now, the expressed reason we did this was why we always get together, frankly. It was to do a little planning around group services and justice activities. But in particular, we wanted to check in with one of our colleagues, the local imam, our Islamic colleague, to make sure that he and his faith community were being treated with the respect that they deserve. There were leaders at this lunch from all three of the faiths of Abraham, the Jews, the Muslims, and the Christians, and whatever Eliot Church is, we were there too. And perhaps because of our interest in supporting the Islamic community, the topic of diversity in communication came up. And at one point, somebody brought up an idea that stuck with me and made me think about today. This was only 2 days ago. Pretty much anything would have stuck with me and made me think about today, but this is what did. And the idea was about music, about how one of the bridges that we build between our people, one of the ways we connect those believers of different faiths or of no faith at all, is to sing and to play and to share our songs. You see, music, just like religion, is one of those broad subjects where everyone feels like they know something, and pretty much everyone feels qualified enough to share their opinion with a certain amount of certainty. And music is also fun. Religion can be fun too, but that's a different sermon. Music can be fun. It breaks down barriers. And even when the words don't make much sense to us, the other road of tone and texture, of rhythm and melody and harmony helps us to access and experience the perspective of someone else. We know this. We know about music because what drew us here tonight was the chance to sing. Music is a gift. It is a miracle. It makes our service. It makes our season. In that reading from Luke that I quoted a couple of minutes ago, you won't hear anything about music, actually. But we imagine the angels singing. We imagine, as the famous carol says, angels bending near the earth to touch their harps of gold. Because after all, if anything is divinely inspired in this world, music is. So back to that table with my interfaith clergy colleagues. There's something else that I thought of for today. You see, this gathering, the one we are having right now, is very similar in one important way. We too are an interfaith gathering. Some of us here are here for the first time. Some of us came here willingly, and some perhaps a little bit more grudgingly. Some people who are here with us today sit in these pews on many weekends, but anyone who knows us knows that as a congregation made up of atheists and agnostics and heretics of most major stripes, we have more opinions in this church than we have people. So we too come from our own perhaps unorthodox but diverse traditions. Some folks came this Christmas to experience a story that is central to their faith and identity. Some came to try to capture the feeling of a faith they once knew or one they never had. Some are just here because they are in need of wonder in a sometimes dark and mundane world. So whatever our personal goal this evening, music is part of the way we get there. At least some of the time, when we sing a song, secular or sacred, we are saying things that we do not believe. Am I right? And things that we would never want to believe. Sometimes when we sing a song, we claim to want to do things that we would never really do. But that's not the point. That's not the point. It is a window into a world, and sometimes a door that we can walk through. And for some brief moment in all of our diversity, we are able to gather together in affirmation of our community and ourselves and of this sacred holiday. With our heads, we may have trouble putting aside the modern world tonight. We cannot necessarily roll with all the words in our red hymnal with the cute little gold cross or the Bible readings, both of which tell about angels and shepherds and traveling scholars in search of a magic child. We may not be able to believe this story, at least in the way that we think we are expected to, but with our hearts we feel it. We feel the music of this special night. In spite of our doubts, we sing the songs, and we listen for the angels, and we sit close in the holy darkness, waiting for the birth of hope and the beginning of a journey of enlightenment or salvation.